And that is a good thing, but then, once they're issued, you've got to take cover quickly because it can be a very fast developing situation. So as we zoom in, we'll give some folks an idea of, again, where this is going to be going. And instead of the squall line, let's go ahead and do just a focused one, the cone that stretches from around here. Heading up to the north at about 25 miles per hour. I believe it's moving at 25 miles per hour. They've all been going about that speed so far today. It's going to give us an idea of exactly where the part of the circulating storm is, the worst part of the storm that may be producing a tornado. So around Central 128, you'll want to make sure you're in your safe room right now. Watch out around Pickens. If the storm holds together, it's just outside of the warning area, but will be around you by 152. You're already finding rain around. It's going to get heavier, and the potential is there for a brief tornado that right now would be in northern Anderson County, but in just a few minutes should be working its way into southern Pickens County across 123. And in addition to that, of course, we're concerned about too much rain. So flash flood warnings, tornado warnings, those have all been a part of our afternoon so far today. And as this rain band continues to slowly work its way eastward, we do expect that additional tornado warnings will be issued. And we're even keeping an eye on some of the storms farther south from where the warning is, Jackie.
Yeah, and so I'm reading through the National Weather Service chat. They expired the tornado watch for Elbert, Franklin, Hart, Stevens, so for our Georgia counties, but they continued it for our upstate counties. And so what that means is that we will continue to see the possibility of these tornadoes and severe weather up until 7 o'clock is when the tornado watch is in effect. And again, we have been seeing these warnings just continue to just spin up, and sometimes they just kind of are done. They never make it through the actual full time frame, and that's what you can see with these tropical storms, just quick little spin ups, and then they kind of dissipate within their selves. So we continue to track the system right now. And again, if you are in Clemson, I would be taking cover. Pickens, be taking cover, because this has the capability of producing a tornado.
That's right, and it's going to be near 123 very shortly. The storm that prompted the warning is situated now in the northern portion of Anderson County. Everything is set up, especially with the circulation from Fred, which is actually going to pass farther west today, but it's influencing the overall wind field in the atmosphere and helping some of these stronger storms to begin to pick up some rotation. And this rain band is going to be the issue today. That's the reason why those counties in northeast Georgia were taken out of the tornado watch. So the threat here is over, but the threat along and east of this rain band is going to be with us. That's going to be increasing for Greenville, Greer, Spartanburg, also Gaffney and Union through the afternoon. So you can't let your guard down, even though in the eastern upstate right now, not much is going on. We've had a few passing showers, but we're under this tornado watch until 7 o'clock tonight. And the latest warning is in northern Anderson County and also including western sections of Pickens County. And you can see another tornado warning south of Greenwood County right now. That one most likely will stay out of the area, but we'll continue to watch for any additional storms that pick up some rotation. Right now, though, still concerned about our friends in Pickens County with that storm that's trying to work its way close to Highway 123 right now, east of the Clemson area.
Yeah, that's right. And we've been seeing this pretty much all day today, all morning long. Christy and I have been tracking these tornadoes. They pop up. They can be very brief at times, but nonetheless, they can be pretty dangerous. They can also be rain wrapped with some of these tornadoes. And again, we have that tornado warning that will continue until about 1:45. It's for Anderson and it's for Pickens County. So if you are in those counties, keep in mind, take shelter. You may not even see these, any rotation, because we have been seeing very, very heavy rain, lots of rain-wrapped rotation with these storms and with this system. Again, this is going to continue to move north at about 25 miles per hour. And Christy, I'll go ahead and track this for you again with the cone, so we can get like a good, it's moving 25, get a good indication of where these storms are going to be headed next.
Yeah, that's good, because people need to act quickly. Not only is it heavy rain, but with the potential of damage from a tornado. If you're in Central, you should be taking cover right now. 126, we'll watch out around Pickens. 150, that's beyond the extent of the warning, but sometimes these storms hold together, or maybe they spin down and then spin up and up towards Sunset. That storm should be up around you by 2:05. If we zoom into this area, we'll check the velocity and we'll check the debris tracker too, because we've got some folks that live in through here, and we'll see if anything is showing up on our debris tracker, and we'll put that into motion, kind of see if we can pick up any anything that might be possibly looking like some damage. Back to the velocity mode though, to where we can see where this is. And actually, okay, go back to the debris tracker, because did you notice that, Jackie?
We do see that little, yep.
Yeah, step that back just a couple of frames and then move it forward, and we'll see if, okay, so stepping forward.
So that could be possible tornado.
We'll zoom way in, show people some streets. This is going to be east of Clemson, north of Pendleton right now. This is showing the potential for debris associated with that storm that may be producing a tornado, which would mean that a tornado would be on the ground picking up that debris. So that's around Highway 88, and that's moving northward close to 123. So if we pan just a little bit farther south, Jackie, as this thing crosses 88, a little farther to the north, it's the Issaquena Trail, 18-mile road. If you're in these areas, around 123.
Confirmed tornado approximately 5 miles east of Clemson near Pendleton, moving north at 20 miles per hour. So this is a observed confirmed tornado. This is from the National Weather Service.
Okay, so there you go. And the debris signature showing that right now.
Yep.
So it's very critical if you are in these areas that you're taking cover right now. If you live along 123 or just to the south inside Anderson County, you should be in your safe spot, as we have a tornado confirmed right now in the northern part of the county. This is near Highway 88, near 18-mile road, on the way to that area. It is close to the Issaquena Trail Road. And if we'll zoom in even more, let's see if we can get into some super details here. Into those extra streets that can help us out around Mulliken Road, around Porter Road, Lodge Road, and move a little farther north so that people can get a little heads up and get out of the way of that storm. Jackie, I'll let you read some of those names. They're a little small.
Yeah, Lodge Road, Porter Road, Rescue Road, Willy Wonka Drive, M&M Road if you're on 18-mile road, Chapman Hill Road along 123, Heritage Riverwood Drive. I would be taking shelter immediately, because this is actually a confirmed observed tornado that is on the ground, and this is where we are seeing the possible rotation. So if you are in on Mulliken Roll, that is above you right now, moving through, and Lodge Road moving through. So I would definitely, again, this is heading north at 25 miles per hour, Willy Wonka Drive, Chapman Hill Road, Old Shirley Road. I'd be taking cover immediately, because you are in the path of a confirmed observed tornado.
That's right. And on this debris tracker, you know, it's dual polarized radar that we can use, and it can basically tell raindrops and hail from debris. A raindrop, when it falls kind of flat, and the radar can measure that, a hailstone is going to hold its shape. Debris is all kinds of shapes, and so the algorithm is set to where we can pick out debris, stuff that's not regular precipitation, on this debris tracker here. And so we do have a confirmed tornado. This is going to update pretty soon. It's probably going to jump up to around Highway 123 and on up farther into Pickens County. So around the community of Central, you should be taking cover right now as that storm is moving your way. Debris is down to the south. The storm obviously has been able to reach the ground as a tornado. It's picked up some debris, and all of that is in the air right now. As it moves northward, it looks like that will stay east of Clemson, but around 123, and Jackie just named off some of those streets that are tighter in, around Central, around 18-mile road, around Church Street. If you're familiar with that, or you know somebody who is, you need to get to your safe room right now with a confirmed tornado, and you want to get to a room that's away from windows on the lowest floor. Cover your head and protect it from that debris that's flying around. A 2x4 in the air can crash through a window very easily, Jackie. So folks really need to take those tornado action plans seriously.
Yeah, so we're showing you again the debris tracker. So what you're seeing is where we're seeing that rotation. It's basically showing us where it's not rain, where something else is in the air, in the atmosphere, and that's how we can pinpoint, as Christy said, where this tornado is. It's been observed. It's for Anderson and Pickens until 1:45, and it's located approximately 5 miles east of Clemson, again, or near near Pendleton. So if you're in Pendleton, it's just to the northeast of you. But again, as we zoom in to get some of those tighter shots there, if you are on near Chapman Hill Road, Willy Wonka Drive, also Old Shirley Road, West Old Pendleton Road, that is headed your way. And if you know any neighbors, give them a call. Let them know that there is a confirmed tornado on the ground, and that's going to continue to work its way to the north, and it continues to move 20 miles per hour.
That's right. And this image is going to update soon. The radar takes in the information, gives us the signature, and then that's going to be giving us an updated signature. I wouldn't be surprised if that was very close to 123 right now. Matter of fact, Jackie, if we back this up a couple of tabs and push it forward well, either way, back it up and then push it forward, maybe we'll jump the latest update, but not yet. So going back to the reflectivity mode, we'll also check the velocity mode so we stay on top of this thing, but we know that's moving northward, and we'll be crossing 123 and working closer to the central area. So again, we do have a confirmed tornado that is producing some damage that we can see, that is lofted in the air from our debris tracker, and the velocity mode also indicating that change in wind speed with and around that storm, indicating where that tornado is. Hook Echo appears to be right here. So that's where most of the rotation is kind of showing up on the reflectivity mode. I'll check the debris tracker again, just curious to see if that's updated. Not yet. But we know that's debris, and that's headed northward. So again, central, if you're in the central area, around 123, you should be taking cover right now with this storm. Wider view, Jackie, any other warnings issued right now? How's the overall landscape looking?
So we still have that the tornado warning that's to the south of Greenwood, but again, that's not in Greenwood, so that, as the way it's moving, should be steering clear of Greenwood. But with this line of storms, we've continuously seen tornadoes just spin on up and then spin out, and that's what we can continue to see. So as of right now, outside of that tornado warning in Pickens and in Anderson, we are seeing just rain right now, Christy, just rain and heavy rain at times. And as we do look again at our rain rates, we have been having some pretty heavy rain, and that's another factor why you may not see some of these tornadoes or the rotation, because they can be rain wrapped, Christy.
That's right, and those rain amounts are causing problems as well with flash flooding. Flash warnings continue in Oconee County. So again, right now our most critical situation is in western Pickens County, extreme northern Anderson County, with a storm that appears to be producing some debris that would indicate a tornado on the ground. It's confirmed by the National Weather Service, and as that debris works its way northward, that's where the tornado is. So you need to take cover as that's moving northward at about 25 miles per hour. We can do another storm track and see, well, did it update? Looks like it did update. Is that 123? Want to zoom in? Okay. And as that works northward, that will be around is that around the Norris area?
All right, and I'll go ahead and put the debris tracker on there.
Okay, so see it updated. Yeah, so now
there we have it.
So
okay.
Central, you should be in your safe area right now. Katichi, 6 Mile, you need to watch out. Right now, this tornado is working northward across the community of Central. Around Highway 93, very close to the Norris area, which is a little farther north. So if you're in these locations, you should be taking cover right now. I want to make sure everyone gets the word on this so you stay safe, and so your neighbors and friends that live in this area are safe as well. Jackie, reading some of these streets in through here, people might find some familiarity with some streets based on friends they have or relatives.
Yeah, that's right. Mawbridge Road, of course, to the south of Norris. And then we're looking at Chastain Road. So if you know anybody, and I'm reading through the chat, it's rotation still there, but it's weakening in Central, but it's picking up southeast of Norris. So if you are in Norris, you need to be in your shelter right now. Be in your safe space immediately. Also, Winding Creek Road, you need to be in your shelter. Liberty Highway. So just keep in mind as these bands of rain continue through, we do have a confirmed tornado on the ground right now. And again, rotation kind of weakening near Central, but picking up southeast of Norris. And that means for you in Norris, if that's picking up, you can see some strong winds, that possible, well, the tornado on the ground. And then just get in your safe space, get in the center of the house, get in the basement, whatever you need to protect yourself. And you may not even be able to see. We've been having some pretty rain-wrapped tornadoes, rain-wrapped rotation with these, so that makes it harder for you to see. So that's why you just need to take a shelter immediately and not try to observe this or look outside and explore it. Just to get in that shelter right now, because again, this is a tornado on the ground, Christy.
All right, and as we take a look at the reflectivity, get a wider view of what's going on inside Pickens County and Anderson County, you can see, as Jackie was mentioning, that torrential rainfall that's coming down at this point, that circulation, that tornado crossing Highway 123 up towards the Highway 93 area. Again, Katichi, watch out in Liberty as it's moving northward. The winds are going to increase, the rain is going to increase, and again, we've been picking up some debris on our correlation coefficient or debris tracker mode to indicate that that tornado is in fact on the ground. And there's where the debris is actually showing up. But going back to the velocity mode too, we can kind of peer into the storms as they've been making their way northward this afternoon. And they're going to continue to develop and have the potential to continue to rotate with the wind energy associated with Tropical Depression Fred. So that storm moving east of Clemson right now, crossing 123. If you're in Oconee or Pickens County, rather, not Oconee County, but western Pickens County, you should be taking cover from this storm. Around Pickens, you need to watch out. Norris, you need to watch out, and even points farther north if this storm holds together. Yeah, and our executive producer, Catherine Christie, was just saying she was looking at the Clemson camera. And as you can take a look, if we zoom in on Clemson, you're actually clear right there. It's around pretty much that area. So there's Clemson. We're not really seeing much there, but we are seeing, even though you're in that tornado warning, but if you are again in Norris and Pickens and 6 Mile, you're really in that area right now. And again, we're seeing rain wrapped with this system. Norris, I would definitely be taking shelter right now. And again, as you can see by this radar, as you zoom in on that red, that is showing you the heavy rainfall. And again, Chastain Road, 93, Central, these are all areas where you need to be taking a shelter because these rotation is starting to pick up a tad bit, and looks like we continue to track this, and we may see another tornado warning here, Christy, as we continue to just track in Pickens County some strong storms with the potential for another possible new tornado warning. So we'll continue to track that. But again, right now, let's see here, local storm report. That was from Anderson County. That was from about 12:12. I'm reading that. There was a tree down on Centerville Road. So even if these storms aren't producing tornadoes, or even though this one is a tornado, they are pretty strong, Christy, with some of that wind and that rain. And that's why a tornado watch was issued and why it remains in effect along and east of this line. A tornado watch in effect until 7 o'clock tonight. You can see all of the area in red. It includes almost all of our area. However, the counties in northeast Georgia were taken out of that because they're on the other side of that rain band. And that rain band is going to be the problem causer this afternoon. We've been tracking storms that have been able to develop and begin to rotate. And as Jackie mentioned, we may have another tornado warning that is on the way. This is the latest one that we have, northern Anderson County, but really most of this now into Pickens County. And as that makes its way farther north, that's going to impact more communities. And it looks like we just got a brand new one in here. Okay. You want to go over the details on that, Jackie? Yeah, so that is going to be until 1:45. We've got this new tornado warning. And again, it's a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. It's located about 7 miles southwest of Easley or near Liberty. And this storm is moving north at 25 miles per hour. So we've got two tornado warnings going on. One is actually the confirmed tornado on the ground, and then another severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. That's 7 miles southwest of Easley or near Liberty, moving north at 25 miles per hour. So again, this line of storms has just been spinning up, tornado warning after tornado warning. So if you are still not out of the woods, if you are in Greenville, Lawrence, Union, Spartanburg, and Gaffney, we do have that tornado watch until 7 o'clock tonight. And then if you are in Georgia right now, that tornado
tornado watch has since expired, but Christy, we still have the chance to see this pretty much over the next couple of hours.
We have 2 tornado warnings right next to each other, so an extremely dangerous time right now in the southern portion of Pickens County. Looks like this is the first rotation that we are tracking. This is the new warning that outlines it, that includes the town of Pickens, city of Pickens, and then the rotation is just to the south there, and that's going to continue to work northward in the direction of Pickens. So again, it's already raining where you are, but the rotation just to your south moving your way. So you need to be in your safe spot right now. And we can check out the velocity mode on both of these and kind of keep tabs if it shows up well. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. We can also check the debris tracker to see if anything obvious shows up there like it was not too long ago. Looks like that debris that we were looking at earlier has begun to diminish some. So some good news as far as that's concerned. But again, now we've got the new tornado warning that's been issued that includes Pickens. So this is the outline of that one. First, well, was that one might have been
canceled. That one just got canceled, yes. So we just got canceled for the Anderson Pickens one, but we still have this one that continues, and this was located 7 miles southwest of Easley or near Liberty, moving about 25 miles per hour.
Okay, and that's in effect until 2:15, 2?
That is going to continue until about 1:45.
Okay, so 1:45. So, yeah, as you were mentioning, Jackie, I mean, these things can be pretty short-lived, but they can do some damage. And this is most likely where that tornado is right now. I can see it on the reflectivity mode. If we zoom in there, let's get real detailed. This is just going to be to the, it looks like to the east of Norris. Well, as you were saying, around the Liberty area, Jackie. So people need to be in place. A lot of moms and dads are getting in the car line about this time of day. You really need to just kind of stay put if you can. Your kids are safe inside the schools. And heavy rain and circulation associated with that thunderstorm may cause some problems. It's not just flooding, but also the potential for a tornado.
Yeah, and our executive producer said that's actually very close to Liberty High School, Christy, as well, and it is very near Liberty. And as Christy was saying, the point of us saying that is because if you have kids in school right now and you need, there may be early dismissal, but they need to have a plan. The schools normally have a plan, right, Christy? I know you just did that story on that.
Schools, yes, they have a plan. They are normally cinder block, buildings. They go through tornado drills. The safest place for your child to be during dismissal is actually inside the school, and the teachers think of those kids as their own, so they're going to do all they can to make sure your kids are safe. But I want you to make sure you're safe too. If a tornado impacts your car in the car line, it can be a very dangerous situation. So right now in Pickens County, we've got 1 tornado warning that's in effect, and if we check the velocity mode, I just want to make sure that I'm right on this. It's okay, so it's right in through here, very close and just south of Highway 93 on the way to the Liberty area. Checking our debris tracker here, a little bit of evidence maybe, but no confirmation of a tornado at this point. So right now, this is our circulation. It's right over 123 Chastain Road. I can't
Summit
read it.
Drive.
Okay, Summit Drive, Liberty.
Just to the east there of Norris. 5 Forks, you're very close to that as well, and a 178 as we head a little bit north. So if you know anybody around that area, it's time to take shelter.
It's definitely time to take shelter, especially since we have already had a confirmed tornado with a storm that was just out to the west. So this is not a situation to where it's a bunch of warnings and then nothing happens. We already know, based on our debris tracker, that we've had 1 confirmed tornado, and now we have another tornado warning. No confirmation just yet, but certainly all the signs point towards at least the potential of this to really cause some problems in the Liberty area along Highway 93. Watch out 178 as this goes northward. We'll pan north just a little bit, show you some more communities here that may be impacted by this storm as that continues its track northward up towards the Pickens area. And you're inside that warning if you're in Pickens. So the storm is still down to your south. You still have time to take cover. You need to get to a room that's away from windows, and you need to find something to cover your head and protect it from flying debris if, in fact, this funnel cloud does reach the ground.
That's right, and I'll go ahead and storm track this as well. And these, again, the movement of this is just moving north, and it's moving at about 25 miles per hour. And the reason a lot of these storms are moving north is because they are bands from Tropical Depression Fred. So I will put that to now, and then we will kind of zoom in a little bit and then storm track to see where here. This is going about 25 miles per hour. We'll put that on there. And then so Pickens, you're looking at 150, Liberty 134, and then Rocky Bottom, if it continues through, that'd be around 219. So again, get in your safe space. And another concern, Christy, as we were talking about with these storms, it's not the time to go out and try to find them, because a lot of these are rain wrapped, and so you'll have a really hard time trying to find the funnel cloud or the possible tornado, Christy.
Yeah, it's really going to be impossible in this kind of rain. I mean, some of these rain rates are 1 and 2 inches per hour. And so we've had flash flood warnings issued in parts of Oconee County. And so just the 1 hour rainfall estimate, the greens and yellows indicating 2 to 3 inches of rain in 1 hour. And we're seeing some of that now in western Pickens County, northern Anderson. So you have all this rain coming down. You have the winds that are influencing these thunderstorms with updrafts that are able to rotate. And from that, sometimes we can see a tornado develop, and we're seeing the signature of that on radar right now south of Pickens, with a storm that's warned until 1:45, and that storm is moving northward. So if you're in Pickens, the rain is heavy. The circulation is just off to your south. That's pushing closer to you right now. And let's just zoom in and continue to check that debris tracker too every now and then, Jackie, just to see if something shows up. Thankfully, I don't see anything clear or obvious right now, but we do see that on the velocity mode very clearly, right? Right
around Liberty.
Yeah, it's over Liberty. So if this is producing a tornado, it's over Liberty right now, and that's going to parallel 178 in the direction of Pickens. So again, if you're in Liberty, you should be in your safe room. If you're in Pickens, you better get there in the next few minutes.
Yeah, and as we kind of take a look at this map again, Cedar Rock, I would be taking a shelter immediately, 178. Also, Brazil Road, Beverly, go ahead and take, because this is moving directly north. So if you are directly to the north of Liberty, you are going to be in this path if this does produce a tornado. We have no tornado confirmed, but where you're seeing the red away from the radar, the green, the towards, that's where we have that possible tornado. Right now we just have rotation that is confirmed, but that is directly above Liberty and also Mills Avenue. So again, that would be going north. So if you're in Pickens, take shelter. If you're in Liberty, I hope you're in your shelter right now, because that will continue to travel along 178 and head to the north. And those are all a part of these rain bands. Let's check to see the radar in general right now, Christy. And so far, again, that's the main concern right now.
Yeah, that's going to be the band to watch. And that means that if you're in Oconee County, if you're in western Anderson County, western Abbeville County, the severe weather threat is now to your east. The Weather Service dropped the counties in northeast Georgia from the tornado watch because that rain band has already moved on through. But if you are in this band of rain, or you live east of it, and that includes our mountain areas, there's still a chance of a tornado developing, and we do anticipate additional tornado warnings this afternoon, just how the whole atmosphere is set up. But that rain band is going to be what we'll be tracking, and of course that's been the culprit for the latest tornado warning that expires in about 15 minutes. As far as I know, no confirmation yet of a tornado with that storm, but it is showing a pretty clear signature on radar, our reflectivity mode. We can pick it out easily as well on the velocity mode, and we would like to know if you see any damage, if it's happened around you or you hear about it. Don't put yourself in danger, but let us know. Right now, that circulation very close to, if not right over or just north of the Liberty area, and that's going to continue along 178 in the direction of Pickens. It looks like that main rotation will stay just west of Easley. So if you're in Easley, the worst is going to stay off to your west. If you're in Pickens, you should be taking cover right now. And again, heavy rain already up and through here, but the potential is there to get some damage from a tornado. Let's take a wide view, as Jackie was showing us, of the reflectivity so you can see how extensive this is. Widespread rain in western North Carolina. We've got flash flood warnings and flood advisories in effect for some areas, and an additional threat of that severe weather through the evening, with a tornado watch in effect until 7 o'clock tonight. So still lots of time to go for the central and eastern upstate and on into North Carolina, Jackie.
Yeah, and you may be like, hey, I'm in Spartanburg, I'm in Cherokee County, I'm in Union, and I haven't seen anything yet. But as you see the movement of these rain bands to the south, These have been moving to the north. So again, as we've been saying, that tornado watch continues until 7 o'clock tonight, and you can still get in on that activity. So we are far from done with this. If you have any afternoon plans, if you know anyone who's possibly driving this afternoon, coming home from work, stay in tune with the weather. Not only are we seeing the heavy downpours with this situations and the flooding, but also now we're having these tornado warnings that we've been having all day continue to just spawn up rather quickly with these storms. And sometimes they're only last 15 minutes. We did have one confirmed earlier, and now so far this one is not confirmed, but we are seeing a rotation with this cell, Christy.
Yeah, and it's going to continue to work its way northward with time. So rain is on the increase. The threat of a tornado is on the increase in Pickens right now, and that tornado warning is in effect until 1:45. So another 13 minutes or so that this warning is officially in effect. If it continues to show decent rotation, that warning could be extended, or if that rotation weakens, it may be canceled or just end on time. But right now, it still looks pretty clear to me that we've got circulation ongoing here in the Liberty area, probably on the north side of Liberty at this point, right along the 178 highway. Moving away from Highway 193, and everything has generally been moving from south to north, so it just updated. So it's north of Liberty and on its way to Pickens. The debris tracker, we didn't see much the last time around. If that tornado, if a tornado is not on the ground, it's not going to show much. Nothing really showing up obvious at this point, so that's some good news, but still, you need to take it seriously. And again, if you're around the Pickens area or you live between Liberty and Pickens, then you should be in your safe room right now. And that's a room that's away from windows on the lowest floor. You want to cover your head and protect it from any flying or falling debris. That's going to really help you out to have a plan so you don't have to think about, what to do and figure it out when you really need to move quickly like you do right now.
That's right. And not only are we worrying about the tornado warnings, but we also, again, have that rain with those pockets of heavy rain. And as you can see between Liberty and Pickens, if there is anything that is possibly out there, it's going to be very hard to see it because look at all of that heavy rainfall that we are looking at. So a lot of these storms can be rain wrapped. A lot of these tornadoes or these funnel clouds or any rotation is definitely rain wrapped because our rain rates, we've been seeing about 2 to 3 inches an hour in some areas. So that's another thing to factor in. If you know anyone driving right now, especially along 178, I would definitely text, call, get in touch with them if they're in Pickens because that storm is going to continue north along 178, Christy.
Yep, and as you mentioned, the amount of rain that's falling with these storms is causing problems. We've got several flash flood warnings in effect. Flash flood warning continuing in Oconee County. A brand new flash flood warning was issued for Transylvania County. A lot of these warnings have been south of North Carolina at this point, but we still run a risk of severe weather and also too much rain. So this flash flood warning in effect until 5:15 for Transylvania County. You're going to want to be careful if you live at the base of a mountain. We're concerned about the potential for any landslides. Southern Jackson County also under a flash flood warning. Oconee County, Rabun County as well. And much of the area remains under a flash flood watch. So that's a look at the warnings and watches that are in place right now. Tornado warning is in effect until 1:45, and you can clearly see the outline of that, but that does include the Pickens area, and that's moving your way. It's been making its way northward at about 25 miles per hour. A line of rain here. We're going to end up with some pretty incredible rainfall totals, I think, because if we put this in motion, all this is going south to north. So some of this might be trying to train a little bit to where you have one heavy shower run over another one, and that can really saturate the ground in a hurry. And the heavy rain extends all the way back into Anderson. So up towards Highway 11, the Pickens area, you're going to want to watch out for this as that tornado warning remains in effect, and that rain band extends all the way to the eastern portion of Abbeville County. So we'll continue to watch for the potential for additional storms to begin to take on some rotation.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the latest update, and they did still continue the tornado warning. That's going to continue for Pickens until 1:45. So again, we don't have anything confirmed, but again, it continues to have that capability of producing a tornado, and it's located again near Pickens, and it's moving north at 25 miles per hour. So again, if you are in Pickens, you need to be in your safe space right now because again, when we take a look kind of at that the velocity velocity. You can see it's to the south of Pickens right now, and that will continue. It's between Liberty and Pickens, and that's going to continue to quickly move to, well, 25 miles per hour to the north. And so if we kind of storm track that line right there, I'll go ahead and do the storm cone, Christy. We can see around about 25 miles per hour. So Pickens, you need to be taking your safe space here, because you've got about the next 20 minutes you can see that possible impacts from a rotating storm. And on top of that, very, very, very heavy rain, Christy.
A lot of things to worry about this afternoon. And of course, the deeper we get into the afternoon hours, the closer we are to school dismissal. And so again, you can bet that the schools are paying attention to the weather right now. They've got a plan to keep your children safe in the event of a tornado warning. Right now, the only tornado warning we have has actually been clipped a little bit, right? The National Weather Service saying, all right, if you were in the southern portion of this warning area, the storm has moved to the north. So this is the dangerous portion of the storm. And they've really kind of fine-tuned this so that we can just really hone in on the exact areas that need to pay attention to the storm that we've been tracking for you so far this afternoon on reflectivity, also velocity. And as that makes its way northward, that's moving into the Pickens area right now. And we may have an updated velocity mode picture of this. I bet that's not updated just yet. I have a feeling this is a little farther north, Jackie. My hunch is that it's going to be a little closer to Pickens. So if you're in Pickens, you should be in your safe spot right now along Highway 178 in general in Pickens County. You want to watch out for that. And even beyond that point, it will move north of Pickens. So if you live north of town, watch out for that. Officially outside of the warning, but if the system maintains that spin, then that warning will be extended. So we'll keep an eye on that. But the velocity mode really tells a lot sometimes to peer into these storms that are producing so much heavy rain.
Yeah, that's right. So on top of that tornado warning, again, we continue to see those heavy rain falls. And again, we've been seeing 2 to 3 inch rainfall rates per hour. So flooding has been a big issue. This is all because of Tropical Depression Fred. As that continues to, we're getting in on those rain bands. And again, if you are in Greenville, in Spartanburg, in Lawrence County, Cherokee, and Union County, we are going to still have that possibility for you to see some of those strong to severe storms for this evening. So another thing to keep in mind as you are heading out for maybe after school activities, plans for after school, and we continue to see just these quick little spin up storms, tornadoes. We already had one confirmed tornado earlier today, so we continue to track that possibility of tornadoes, and they've been brief, but again, we had one confirmed already, Christy.
Yeah, you got to take action quickly, even if these only last a few minutes, and usually they do just last a few minutes or less in one particular location. So whenever these warnings are issued, you really have to take action quickly, which is why we always implore you to have a plan while the weather's nice, so that when things happen very rapidly and you have to get to safety, you don't really have to think about it or figure it out. You already know where you're going to go. This is a rain band associated with what was Tropical Storm Fred. It's tropical depression right now. The circulation from that is actually working through North Georgia. You can kind of see the counterclockwise spin as that moves through western North Carolina. And as temperatures continue to heat up this afternoon, the severe weather threat is actually going to increase a bit more, I think, along and east of this line. If you live west of the line, still going to get into some rain, but the tornado threat is higher farther to the east, and those are the areas that are still under a tornado watch. As a matter of fact, if we show the aerial extent of the tornado watch, you'll see that the only areas excluded are those that are just behind that line of rain. So in northeast Georgia, those counties were dropped, but for the remainder of the area, we're still going to be focused in on the potential for some of these storms to begin to rotate. That's officially in effect until 7. Of course, 7 o'clock will be in effect really for our eastern counties, because after that point, we expect that threat to end. And then a flash flood watch continues for almost all of our counties. As Jackie was saying, we've had incredible rain rates with the rain today. More rain is going to be on the way, and flash flood warnings have been issued for Transylvania County, southern Jackson County, and also a big chunk of Oconee County, where 2 to 4 inches of rain plus has fallen across parts of the area. So Pickens County is not the only area seeing rain right now. There's a lot of it out there, especially along that band.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm looking through the chat, and it looks like the tornado warning is set to expire at 1:45. You're still in that warning, though, not quite out of the woods yet. And again, that's what we have been seeing all morning, just very quick spin ups. One confirmed tornado, others just kind of spin out. But for the most part, if you're in Pickens, it looks like you're still under that tornado warning, but that's only going to be for the next couple of minutes. And then this cell is kind of weakening a tad bit. So that's a little bit of good news, Christy.
Yeah, that is. And we always have our ears out for any damage that's been reported. But one thing you're going to really have to watch out for if it's not a tornado warning is too much rain. We've had many rounds of heavy rain in some locations. The ground has taken as much as it can. So additional downpours are going to cause streams, creeks, rivers to back up. Roads can be flooded. You need to make sure you find another way to get where you're going if you encounter a flooded roadway. And you just need to be careful out there in general. Farther to the west into northeast Georgia, we've got some showers and thunderstorms, high rain rates once again in areas that had tornado warnings earlier today in Stevens County. But right now you can see their latest rainfall estimate is just last hour or so. The greens and yellows indicating rainfall amounts of 2 and 3 inches from northern Anderson County, really right along the path of that storm, Jackie, as it tracked into Pickens County, northern sections of Oconee County and southern Jackson County too, also getting quite a bit of rain. And you get into the mountainous areas and you have to worry about landslides. So that's an issue as well this afternoon that we're concerned about.
Yeah, so where you have been seeing those rain bands and where we've been seeing those storms, that is showing us with those rain rates that they have had the very heavy, the torrential rain, a lot of that tropical moisture, and we have been having those warnings go off. So where we've been seeing those storms, you've been seeing just those pockets of heavy rain in association with this tropical storm. And again, we still have that one warning left in Pickens, but that is set to expire in the next couple of minutes. So that's good news. That does mean it's weakening. We had a confirmed tornado a little bit earlier as well. And other than that, to the far south of Greenwood, we have a tornado warning. But once this Pickens tornado warning expires, then we are just going to be still looking at that chance of seeing this happen, especially with daytime heating. And we'll have that instability. And we've got the moisture. And then we've got the wind shear, the wind direction changing with height. So we're still up till this evening, Christy, can still see the possibility of severe storms and tornadoes.
Yeah, especially in areas like you mentioned that are looking at fairly quiet weather right now. A lot of times when we do these Facebook Lives to update everybody on what's going on, you know, we'll say, here's how it looks in, you know, Clemson. And people will say, well, what about Greenville? What about Greer? Everybody wants to know what's going to happen where I am. Well, over the eastern portion of the upstate, still pretty quiet, but it's going to go downhill for you later this afternoon. This rain band is going to slowly edge eastward with time. And with enough wind energy, it's possible that we see additional tornado warnings. So in Greenville County, Lawrence County, Spartanburg, Union, Cherokee County, even up into North Carolina, you need to be on the lookout for the potential for some of these storms to start to rotate. And if it doesn't, you're still going to have some downpours to worry about. Flash flooding could be an issue. And flash floods kill people every year. So you really have to be careful out there. In the mountains of North Carolina, widespread rain coming down from folks around the Marion area through Buncombe County back into Macon County. North Georgia seeing some high rain rates here. And some of these showers just continue to pour in from the south all around the circulation with Tropical Depression Fred. That's going to track over the extreme western portion of North Carolina, still pulling in all that moisture, though. And the influence from the circulation from that is helping some of these storms to rotate this afternoon. So again, one tornado warning in effect in Pickens County. That's going to be allowed to expire. Outside of that, no additional warnings just yet until you get south of Greenwood. But the potential is there, again, for others to develop throughout the afternoon, Jackie.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what you kind of get with these tropical systems. They make landfall, and then you can get those quick spin-ups. They can produce these isolated tornadoes along their rain bands. You're also seeing pockets of heavy rain. Flooding, again, is an issue with this as well. So it looks like they did expire the tornado.
A breaking news update. 3 teenagers are dead and a Spartanburg woman faces felony charges after a crash near Inman. The Highway Patrol says Melissa Parker was driving the wrong way on I-26 East and hit a car head-on early yesterday morning. The 18-year-old driver and 17-year-old twins.
Georgia counties and portions of the mountains, but we still have that chance through this afternoon and through today. So if you're like, hey, I haven't received rain yet, you may see lesser rainfall amounts and lesser rainfall totals, but you still have that possibility to receive that rain. And again, the rain, the torrential rain, heavy rain at times, a lot of tropical moisture is one of the main concerns with this. And our biggest threat, though, that we are tracking right now is we have got that tornado warning that is continuing until 1:15. A lot of these storms, though, have been pretty quick, Christy, I guess I should say. They've been really just, they're spinning up and they're moving out with a lot of these tornadoes. And right now, so we'll see if this continues to actually get extended until 1:15.
Yeah, that's right. For a couple of these warnings so far today, we've actually seen them canceled early. So that is good news, as Jackie was saying. Still tracking the storm that is making its way, it looks like northwest of Clemson. As we zoom in, we'll still see that on the reflectivity mode. It looks like that's crossed Highway 123 and is working its way northward. As it does so, it's going to include a few more folks. So as we take a look at the storm itself, if there's a tornado in this, it's going to be very close to this area right now, crossing 123. If you're around, say, east of Walhalla, west of 6 Mile, you need to be making sure that you're in your safe room right now. Storm's going to move northward. And we zoom into this area. I know we get into some of the mountainous areas in South Carolina, so that in itself is going to be a threat too with these torrential rainfall rates that we're seeing with the potential for landslides, more likely in North Carolina, but the mountains of South Carolina have to watch out too. So tornado warning to 1:15 as that continues northward. We'll track that to see if it maintains that identity or if it begins to fall apart pretty rapidly. And then we'll also watch to the south because it's going to be a main rain band this afternoon that I think is going to be the issue for the upstate. And that stretches into Anderson and Abbeville counties. Again, no warnings out for those just yet, but as the circulation from Fred continues to work its way closer to the extreme western portion of North Carolina, that's going to increase the energy for some of these storms this afternoon, and we're still heating up. I mean, we've still got 4 or 5 hours to see the temperature tick up, and all that does is it adds energy to storms that are able to fire up. So if they can get strong enough, they tap into some of that potential for rotation, and then from there, sometimes we get tornado warnings, and that's what we're seeing right now in eastern Oconee County and just the western section there of Pickens County.
Yeah, and that's until 1:15, and that's one thing we've been talking about. We've got the wind direction and speed changing with height. We've got the this tropical air mass, so it's a nice setup to see tornadoes. And we all morning long, Christy and I have been tracking tornadoes since this thing has well, tornado warnings, I should say, since this has really made landfall. And as it continued through Georgia, we saw a ton of warnings, and that's kind of been the thing. We get this quick spin ups with these tornado warnings, and then they soon enough kind of fall apart. But as of right now, we're still seeing this tornado warning for Oconee and for Pickens County, and that's going to continue through, and that will last until about 1:15 for this afternoon. And